I am back again in my messy craft room. And I am ready to carry on and get these hinges in. So, as you can see, I have added to them. I've put on a 1/4 inch gold paper on the first bit here. On each of the hinges, on the uprights of the hinges, there is a 1/2 inch piece of gold paper, and in the gusset there is a 3/4 inch piece of paper, and they are all 8 1/4 inches long, so they go from the top to the bottom. And I've done that all the same all the way through. I've also added my, I think this is 6mm red line tape, so whatever strong adhesive you prefer, and that is just on that top 1/2 inch. I haven't gone over my score line at all, and that's on both sides, and then I've mitered the edges just up to that first score line. I haven't gone below that first score line there on my mitering. Some people prefer not to miter. They think that it gives a better fit. Where I'm not exactly an accurate measurer or cutter, I do prefer to have the mitering here, because it gives me just that little bit of movement to be able to get the pages straight. Like I said, I don't cut straight. I don't measure very well, and I don't cut very well. So they are all ready to go in. I already have the tape on the back. So I have put on my drawer fronts. I haven't done anything else to the drawers. Oh, yes I have. What I've done is I've added this piece. Now this is a piece of packaging cardboard, so it's basically thick card. And I wrapped it in very thin card and placed it on the bottom, and all that's doing is lifting that up slightly so that it's centered exactly, so you get that little tiny gap in the bottom of this drawer, so you can hear the music box beautifully. And as you can see, I've put on my music box. That's all in, and the screws right here, because the screws are holding the music box in place. I took off this knob here from this drawer handle, so I took it apart, I took the knob off, and I was going to keep the bottom bit to have it, I mean, I would have liked to have had the knob there and had that as the winder, but unfortunately the thread isn't the same size, and I thought I don't want to muck around with drills and everything, because that's not the point of scrapbooking really, is it? But I took it off, and unfortunately it wouldn't fit. There wasn't enough space. You couldn't wind it basically, so I decided to keep with the key idea. On the end, I have decided not to go ahead with the corset binding, and I've just got 2 of these here. Like I said, I get these from AliExpress. You look for jewellery cabinet handles, and I'm going to have a chain on there with a few charms on, and I have a Tim Holtz book plate here, which I've had in my stash for years. So this is all ready then. As you can see, it's all been pushed through to the other side. I haven't put anything extra on top of it yet, but it's all ready for the it's all ready for the hinges to go in. Now, I don't know why that is, but my hinges, they measure up at the bottom, they don't measure up at the top. That is so weird. Ah, my hinges are off. That's why they look completely straight. Right, I'll just have to make sure that that does go in straight. Oh dear, look at that, it goes like that. Okay, I may have to take this down by quite a bit then. I am not happy with that. That is so weird. Okay, I'm going to cut that down quite a bit then and just have a small piece each side. It'll be okay. That is just strange. That is coming quite a bit. It's bowed quite a bit. Never mind. These things happen, and I'm not going to make yet another hinge after this being my second one that I've made. Actually, technically it's my third, because the first one I did wrong. The second one I spilled coffee on. And this one, well, I don't know what I've done, but never mind. So, get my paper up out of the way. I am going to bring this down by a bit. So I'm going to have that one about there. Okay, I'm going to have to do this with a knife. Well, isn't this starting off well? Okay. So let's cut this down. That side. And then this side. Okay. Now I'm ready to put in my hinges. So I'm going to lift this up. Hopefully it won't be too dark, because I am going to be blocking out quite a bit. So, do I want it going up or down? I'm going to have it this way round. So let's release that tape backing. Obviously I've squashed it up at the bottom here somewhere. Okay, let's release my tape backing. Oh, actually, first of all, I'm going to cover up these, and I'm going to use my carpet tape. I'm going to use my carpet tape. And this just holds these in slightly more securely. Just going to so I'm just straightening this out slightly so that it's, there we go, that'll hold better. Okay, and this side as well. Take off that tape backing. And then take off the tape backing of my hinges. Get some glue onto the back. As you can see, I'm using quite a lot of glue. Just that I haven't got the strength to sit there with one hand and squeeze the bottle with one hand. So I'm wondering if I can pull this out slightly. Yes, I can. So I think that's about centered. It's up slightly here, but I think I like that very well. So it is centered at the bottom and centered at the top. I've tried to pull this out a little bit at the bottom because I'm pretty sure it's just where the hinges have collapsed slightly in on themselves. Right, next bone folder, and I have to be quite careful with this because this paper is actually quite delicate. Okay. Right, now very carefully I want to mark in these score lines. And then this one. Okay, so I'm going to varnish this with my hand rather than the score tool. Like I said, just because this gold paper is actually quite delicate. It's delicate like me. Okay. And the next thing to do is going to be to put the pages in. And do I want white here? I think I'm going to have plain white at the moment and then decide what I'm going to do further on to that. So what I might have to do is just cut this off slightly on this bit here, which I will do now. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this here. I'm going to cut this just to even that up, and I will tidy that up in a minute. So basically when I lay the matting paper on the sides here, I won't have this bit showing. I'm going to cut that bit off. So that's the hinges in, and I still haven't decided what paper I'm going to use. That's actually really, as you can see, that's going to need a little bit more scoring. The only reason I was thinking about having the ribbon wrapped around, which I'm not now, but I was thinking of, is because obviously this, when it's upright like this, the pages are going to be floating off the bottom, so that puts quite a lot of weight onto this hinge, and it pulls the hinge, especially at the top. So if you wrap the ribbon round the hinges and around the outside of the binding as a decorative measure, it also actually helps keep these hinges upright. It gives it a really good extra bit of force there to keep the hinges up. But that is the hinge in, and now I have to do the drawers. I still haven't decided how I'm going to decorate these drawers. I think I'm going to use the gold. I think I'm going to use this gold inside and maybe plain blue on the outside. But as you can see there, it doesn't really show that there's this extra mat here, but it just centres up that slightly so that you do have a gap here and you do have a small gap here. I'm so pleased with this so far. So now I'm going to get my pages ready and I'm going to sort those out, so I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm here with my pages and my hinges in, and this is the bit I always find most difficult, if I'm honest. Okay, so I'm going to start from the very back. So this is my last page, and I have the book open. It's actually rested up against me, and I'm going to see if I can put the pages in this way. So the double-sided sticky tape is already on the hinge. I will also need some glue, and then let's get the last page. Remove the tags from the centre, and I know that this one goes on this way. So this one's going on here. Oops, that's come off slightly. Let's just glue that bit back on there. Right. Oh, I do so hate doing this. This is my worst part. This is the bit I really, really do not like doing. Is it going that way, or is it going that way? For the life of me, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, it's going that way. Of course it is. So this is page 11 and this is page 12. So this is the very last page. Well, I say it's the very last page. We still have to do the pages for here and obviously on the front cover. But so this one's going on here. Okay, let's stop flapping around and get this done. Release my tape backing on this side. Add my glue. Oh my. Okay, just realised I'm going to have to do it this way, aren't I? Because I need to be able to see the school line. So, pages, book. Right, I'm going to open this up, and I know the page will be going about here. Oh, I'm doing this so badly. Basically, I need to make sure that when the page goes on, it's going to lay straight. Now, because these hinges are slightly off, I have my bowed hinges, I know it's not going to be exactly as I first anticipated it. But I reckon that's pretty close. So I'm looking in the monitor to see if it looks straight, and that does look straight. So my next job then is to I might just do my pokey tool. Take the tape backing off of this one and also this one. Add my glue. And then fold this one down. And that's my first page in. Oops, a daisy. Oh, that was not so clever, was it? Let's glue that bit down. Because we don't want that to look all messy. There we go. So, first page in. And really, that's always the easiest one. Right, my next page. Now, I am hoping that these will, they should slip into here, and oh, loads and loads of room, so that's good. Oh, I am happy. Okay, let's put those to one side. Next one, take out my tags, and I know that this one is going this way, so let's open this up again, release my tape backing from this side of my hinge, just this side, add the glue, and then line this one up. Now I don't want it to be too far over, but I know it does need to line up with the previous page. Is that it? That one's pretty good. Okay, so then we release the tape backing on this one, and this one, add the glue just over that tape there, and then fold the page down to seal it up. Okay, and as you can see, that will over time bend and become a bit more pliable, and that will help the basically it stops it sticking up. It gives you that extra bit so that it lays more flat. I mean, it will stick up slightly, but it will lay slightly more flat when it's being opened. So on to the next one. So I will go back and do all of these. So I know this one goes here, this way. So I will finish off doing these, and I will be doing them all exactly the same. If I don't, I will come back and show you if I'm doing them different, but as far as I know, I'll be doing these last 4 sets of pages all the same, and then I'll be back. Pages are in. For the moment, I've also put in some pegs here, my extra hands, as I like to call them, just to hold the hinge. Like I said, because it is free floating at the bottom, there is a lot of pull on these tops, so I want to make sure this is fully dried before I do anything else. So what I've also got at the moment is just this. I've tied this ribbon right the way round. Tied this lace. I was going to have it as a closure originally, and there's little plastic flat back gems at the end. Get my coffee out of the way. Last thing I need to do right now is to go. Oh, I've aligned the drawers all in white. I decided I'm going to have them in white. I'm going to have pattern paper on the sides, white paper on the bottom, pattern paper on the sides, and then I'll probably Mod Podge it. So, but the pages, as you can see, are done, and I think they look really, really lovely. So, all done did. Pages are in. Except of course for the cover pages. But yeah, that's gone pretty well, and I shall probably first put in just plain white here, because obviously that's going to be my base page. So I'll use plain white. But there, pages are in. There we go, with all the snowflakes cascading down the side there, which I think looks really, really, really lovely. I'm very pleased with this album so far. For something that I'm not entirely comfortable with. Oh, one thing I did want to mention is obviously I didn't use a lot of the punches and such like that I said I was going to use. And the reason behind it was that I decided not to stick to one colour. I changed colours on the page. There's blue, there's red, there's green, there's brown. And I thought if I used all different punches as well, the album wouldn't be very cohesive. So I just used mainly the one, which was the Sweet Dixie Snowflake Border and Snowflake die set, and use that throughout instead. And I think it makes it a bit more cohesive, and obviously with the little snowflakes here. I'm for someone who doesn't feel comfortable using colours and glitter and mirror paper, I think I've done quite well so far. So pages are in. I will stop waffling yet again and dry this off completely and choose my papers for the rest of the album. So quite a short one this time, just putting the pages in, making sure they're all straight, and that's that. Oh, and I've put on my piece of decorative paper just here. I've decided to keep going with the gold theme. And like I said, this bit here, this piece of lace, at the moment, because I have loaded this up quite a bit and I want it to remain quite square, I can just tie this up at the top here, and it really does keep that album together. Just there. And I'll be putting on the bottom of here, I'll be putting I think just plain white, and then putting Mod Podge over, just to make sure that it's got that little bit of toughness, so that it's not going to wear away. So there we go. That's the pages in for now, and I'll be back soon. Bye for now.